reports, including mine. People are generally optimistic. However, it's far too early to get a full handle on what they're actually going to put together and release in a year and a half.
I mean, the interesting thing about Windows 8, Esther, is that it essentially, the software combines both the tablets and the PCs, doesn't it? So this is Microsoft's way of saying, well, even though Apple dominates this market, it could evolve in a different way, and here's how.
Yes, in fact, Microsoft with this operating system not only covers tablets and PCs, but it's really, the scaling of it is actually quite extreme, because it's really going from the smartphones and handheld devices all the way up to mission-critical computing and mission-critical servers. So they really do cover the whole, client computing and server space with this kind of operating system. But, from an analyst standpoint and how the market receives this, we really look at different product categories in terms of what is a mobile operating system versus a PC operating system. So there could be a lot of different trends based on that.
So what do you think about that, Alex? Because this is the first full Windows version touchscreen, isn't it? And that is the central feature of Windows 8, the idea that you have these large tiles. So how does that compare then to Apple, to Samsung?
Well, I think it's important to note that Microsoft started building Windows 8 before the iPad came out. So this OS is not a response to the iPad. It was in construction before that came to market. So this is not a hurried response to what the iPad is meant to do in the market. However, when you look at the interface and you look at the way they're dealing with information and live updating and so forth, it's definitely a compelling idea. But again, until we get more information and we have a more developed build to play with, perhaps a beta or even a release candidate, it's difficult to say. But definitely, it's a fair response, at least right now.
So let's just take a look at how investors are viewing some of the major tech rivals. Just want to look at how Microsoft shares have actually performed over the course of the past year compared to the likes of Google and Apple. So there you can see the share performance over the past year. And Esther, I know that you don't want to comment specifically on the share price, but nevertheless, I mean, if you just take a look at what's going on there, I mean, look at the difference there. I mean, Apple's soaring by 44%. Does this reflect the true potential of these companies going by their products and their strategy?
I guess it actually more reflects on what they are doing right now versus, what they're going to be bringing to market in 2 years' time. So currently, Apple has a really hot brand, and really whatever they touch seems to be a success. Whereas with regards to Microsoft, I guess they have been blamed to reacting too slowly. So I guess it really, reflects on what they've been doing so far up to right now.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily reflect how they may be performing, in 2 years' time, because so much happens in 1 month.
And Alex, just picking up on that point that Esther was making there about whatever Apple touches is a success, I suppose a big part of that has been their dominance in the app space. And the key question here, I suppose, will be, can Microsoft get their developer ecosystem, if you like, to really engage?
Well, I don't think everything Apple touches turns to gold. Look at Apple TV and Ping. But in regards to the developer system today, when I was at the keynote surrounded by 5,000 developers, they were very positive. The reactions were enthusiastic and seemed to like what Microsoft is putting together because it's designed for them. Windows 8 features a very, very pervasive new way of developing applications, how they link together, how they're coded with languages if possible. So Microsoft is definitely focusing on keeping developers happy, and that will definitely lead to a more active app ecosystem, which of course, as you pointed out, is crucial. So that's trending positive, I would say, on the whole.
All right, but let me ask you then, I mean, what exactly is Microsoft doing in terms of developing their apps for this piece of software? I mean, are they going to go beyond the obvious ones like Internet Explorer and music?
Well, I think they're going to get out of the way. They made this point on Monday during a private press event that they're not trying to compete with individual, what you might call third-party developers. They want those developers to be free and clear to do whatever it is they want to do. Microsoft wants to provide tools, and that was the focus today. There's a new API, I won't go into details, but it's called WinRT, and it provides a whole host of new capabilities that developers can use individually to build applications. So Microsoft will probably, of course, code some new things. I mean, we can get into that later, perhaps. But I think they definitely will be focusing on the tools they need developers to provide that they think is necessary.
Thanks so much, Alex Anaheim. Good to talk to you from California, and of course here in the studio with me, Esther Morvay, analyst.